What's up, everyone? This is the Jose Show. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. You guys are the best. I am so glad to be back to give you guys the latest of all of what's going on. Well, anyway, I got a lot of good stuff, a lot of good juicy stuff to tell you guys on today's show. So now let's get started. Now let's start off with Jennifer Aniston, who now has 20 million followers. As we all know, Jennifer Aniston first joined Instagram about 2 months ago. And once she joined Instagram, her Instagram exploded with millions and millions of followers in the very first day that she joined Instagram. And one of her pictures happened to be a picture of her and her former friends' co-stars, which happens to now get over 20 million likes in that picture, which also happens to be the first picture of her Instagram page. I think that was an iconic moment, you guys, because I honestly think that Jennifer made a good entrance to Instagram. She made a good welcome to Instagram by not just showing us that she's in Instagram officially now, but that now she is also showing something that we all wanted to see, which is, of course, her reuniting with her friends' former co-stars. Now, I don't know if this first picture, though, is telling us something, if whether or not there might be a Friends reboot or not, because, there's a lot of reboots going on these days. But hopefully there is, because that show was a really good show, you guys. So, yeah. Congrats to you, Jennifer Aniston, on 20 million Instagram followers. Well, now from Jennifer Aniston to Celin Dion. Well, as we all know, that iconic, beautiful ballad of the Titanic, which is called My Heart Will Go On. Well, Celin Dion says that she didn't want to record her iconic My Heart Will Go On because it didn't appeal to her. Well, according to Dion herself, this very nearly happened. The 51-year-old singer appeared on Watch What Happens Live with Andy Cohen on Monday and said she initially wasn't interested in singing the theme song from 1997's Titanic. Well, the full reason to why Celin Dion didn't want to do it was not only because it didn't appeal to her, but also because she said that it was dramatic. It had a dramatic tune, and that she was probably very tired that day, and that she doesn't know how tired she was. That's how tired that basically she was that immensely tired. So now Dion said it was her late husband, Renee Angelil, who convinced her to at least record a demo of the song, which ended up being the actual recording. And then Celin went on and then said that her husband said, "Let's hold on," and then she recalled, and then she said he talks to the writer and says, "Let's try to make a little demo," and then she sang the song once and they built the orchestra around it. So that's how basically the song ended up getting built, you guys, into becoming one of the most iconic hits and one of the most iconic songs for a movie. So see, even though you might not want to do something, it will most likely end up being something cool, you guys. So I encourage you guys to do something even though you guys don't like to do it. That's an example right there from Celin Dion. Well, anyway, Celin Dion just recently released her album Courage, and it is projected to debut at #1 in the Billboard charts, and it happens to be her 27th album of her career. So that right there is pretty iconic. That right there is actually pretty cool. And the fact that she is still doing good in her music is also really cool and very impressive, especially coming from an icon like Celin Dion, who we've all loved dearly throughout these past 2 decades. So I am happy for Celine Dion, and this song of the Titanic really still gets to me every time I listen to it, 22 years later. Well, anyway, from Celine Dion to now the Grammy nominations, you guys. Tomorrow are the Grammy nominations announcements. Now, here are my predictions on who can get nominated for the Grammys, especially for the top categories. Ariana Grande will definitely get the top nominations. She'll definitely get the major nominations for record, song, and album of the year. Now, Billie Eilish will also get those 3 nominations in my projections. And another artist who I'm pretty sure is gonna get record, song, and album of the year is Taylor Swift for her album Lover. Because Taylor Swift, she had a great year with her recent album Lover, and she released a really good album, I have to be honest. It was one of, I have to be honest, it maybe wasn't one of her best, in my opinion, because I think one of her best might have been either Reputation or 1989. But still, this album was still not bad, and it still, to me, feels like it should be recognized. So I think Taylor will get the 3 top nominations. For Ariana, she'll definitely get those nominations because Ariana, she had a stupendous year. She had 2 #1 singles off of Thank You Next. She broke records. Her music was more lyrically important, more lyrically well than her previous album, even though her previous album was also good. But I think this album showed more of her mature side, and it showed more of her real side, especially because she was literally giving out a message out there to her exes and to her loved ones in this deep personal album that she released. And I personally think that not only did it inspire so many people to wake up and actually smell the roses in life with this new album, but also it even inspired females, because this album, well, first off, it was made by a female, but second of all, it inspired females because basically Ariana gave out these female anthems, to tell all females, you know what, break up with this dude, this person's not worth it, you can do better than that. Especially with her recent song, Thank You Next. So, I honestly think that Ariana deserves these nominations, and I think that Ariana will most definitely be nominated. Definitely. Now, for Billie Eilish, I definitely think that she'll get nominated for Record of the Year, Song of the Year, and Album of the Year, because Billie Eilish had a stupendous year as well. And many people were into her more than with her previous music, I have to be honest. I mean, this year was the year of Billie Eilish, too. Bad Guy was killing it in the charts. Her album, When We All Fall Asleep, Where Do We Go, that did great as well. And it received lots of praise and a lot of recognition. But I have to admit that Thank You Next, if it gets nominated for Album of the Year, which I'm pretty sure it will, you guys, I think it deserves to win. And this is my early prediction, even though I don't even know who the nominees are yet. But that's my early prediction, that Thank You Next will get the win for Album of the Year, because I think Thank You Next is the most acclaimed album this year. I think it is, if I'm not mistaken. If it's not, then I think it's one of the most acclaimed. So I think that's why it deserves Album of the Year. Definitely. Starting off because it had few hits. So That's my prediction. Now, the rest of the predictions that I have for album, song, and record of the year are for Lizzo, because Lizzo also killed it this year with Truth Hurts and with Good as Hell. She really did. I mean, even though her music was released 2 years ago, she's still eligible to be nominated in this upcoming year's Grammys, according to Billboard. Because I think it has a lot to do with it being a sleeper hit and it becoming a hit just now. And I think that's what the Grammys want. So I think that's the reason why Lizzo ended up getting nominated. Is gonna most probably get nominated for tomorrow. For tomorrow's Grammy announcements. Well, Grammy nomination announcements. So that's another prediction. And I also predict that Post Malone can get nominations too. I also predict that Maroon 5 can get a few nominations here and there. Katy Perry can get a few nominations, because Never Really Over was literally one of the best songs she's ever released. So yeah, I have a lot of predictions, a lot of picks on who can get these nods, but these are just my predictions. We'll just have to wait and see tomorrow, early in the morning, who is actually going to get nominated for those 3 top categories at the 52nd Grammy Awards, which will air live on CBS next year on January